Back with me is former U.S. Energy Secretary for President Barack Obama, Ernest Moniz. Secretary Moniz, what's the way to handle this thing? Because if you cut off Russian oil exports, America can make up for a lot of it by fracking more and drilling more. That goes against what this administration actually wants to do. But in the meantime, everybody's paying more for heating oil and for gas. What's the solution?
Well, first of all, we should, of course, recognize that you can't just turn on the faucet and produce more oil or gas. That would take some time. And a major part of the United States not ramping up more actually comes from the financial sector, which is asking the oil and gas companies to return more profits, if you like, to the investors. Now, with regard to Russian oil, the irony, in a certain sense, is that while President Biden has not sanctioned the oil exports, the reality is Russia is having a hard time selling its oil because customers are not buying it. They're doing their own sanctions programs in a certain sense, and furthermore, OPEC, which of course has been asked also, they do have spare capacity that they could ramp up pretty quickly, but they have chosen to stick with their program of very incremental increases as time goes forward. That's all combining together with the uncertainty to drive up prices. Now, the reality is that sorry, we have some background noise here. The reality is that the futures prices for oil are actually much lower than the current prices. So the oil markets are expecting the prices to go back down in the next months.
I think that might be the CEO of an oil company calling you, having heard your comments. Let me ask you about what you make an interesting point. Countries that produce oil, they don't really mind that oil prices are high right now. $115 a barrel is a little too high because it starts to affect, people start to change the way they drive, and they start to look at more energy efficient cars at some point. But, if oil's $100 a barrel, it's profitable to frack in the United States. It's profitable for all these countries. So not everybody's got the right motivations here. But the longer this war goes on and the higher oil prices stay, the more unpopular prosecuting this war becomes for citizens of NATO countries or the European Union. Germany already has issues with this. American consumers are going to get fed up with it as well. How does President Biden, he can't manage the price of oil, so what is he supposed to do?
Well, I think, frankly, I think there is a case to be made for the American producers to increase production, and I think the financial institutions will start encouraging that again, because it takes quite a bit of debt servicing to drill in these shale formations. The president obviously has to balance many factors here, and certainly the price at the pump is one of those. As you said, by the way, I think the 115 is probably beyond that which even the oil producers would like to see in a steady way. I believe Saudi Arabia, for example, has always said that something around $80 a barrel they would view as fair, supporting their economy and not driving demand down too much. So there's going to be a balance in there. But the reality is, until this war stops, Russia is having a hard time selling its oil, and it exports probably 8 million barrels a day, that is before the war, of crude plus refined products. That's a lot of oil and products to make up. And if they are short by a few million barrels, well, we are seeing the consequences.
Secretary, always good to talk to you. Thank you for joining us and explaining two very important, complicated issues to us. Ernest Moniz is the former United States Energy Secretary under the Obama administration.